I possess here indisputable evidence that working at NASA is and it goes from people to what we do to having fun and celebrating. But let's start with the most important one. And the most important one is people. As we see on the sign here, inspiring the next generation of explorers in school. Now, I got a lot of stuff here, and Dr. Matthews told me 15 minutes, not 15 minutes on one second. So I'm going to get through this quickly. So here we are in, where's this thing? This is down in Atlanta. We're opening Explorer School, and of course you see kids are excited. We have things like Young Astronauts Day, where we bring our young people together and let them interact with astronauts. So those have to be my granddaughters, and you'll see them a lot in this. Bringing students together to help them see what NASA does and to really get excited. And this just happened to be a group of students from my old high school who come down 30 years later to Kennedy Space Center to see a NASA launch. So we did a big fundraiser, a really big fundraiser to get them down. And of course, we get to interact with some of our celebrities. And again, we see two granddaughters interacting with Michelle Nichols. And they're really excited. They were really pumped up about NASA, after this LEGO event, and I want to thank Leland and NASA Education for putting this event on and allowing them to participate. And of course, they happen to come down to this space shuttle. And well, this is not one of our next generation. This is the current generation of explorers, and she's getting to interact with Microgravity Man because we have a big microgravity science program. And here is one of our researchers. This is Fred Holland from the Lynn Research Center. Putting on a demonstration for some young students. So and we have a very extensive summer program for our students. And here we get students from all over the country to work in our biofuels lab with one of our leading scientists. And so this is a program is Dr. Ken Cam. This is one of his programs and a bunch of his students. And that's also run out of Ohio Aerospace Institute. And you see Ann Hayward and Dr. Howe there raising their hand and wanting more money to do some more of this. And so, as I mentioned, the people are really what makes working at NASA cool. So having fun with your coworkers, you're going to be with them. We don't do 8 hours a day. We start at 10, 12, 14 hours a day. So having fun with coworkers is cool. And that's not at work. I shouldn't have put that one in there. But we're out having. This is a half-hour lunchtime that we're having before we rush back to work. And of course, Dr. Matthews remembers this. We're working at the Kennedy Space Center, and that's very near the cruise terminal. So about 53 of us got together and called up Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, and we went on another half-hour lunch. And they wouldn't let us come back for 4 days, though. So we had a great time. And we get together to celebrate with our employees. This is actually Kennedy Space Center All-American Picnic that we do every year. It's about 8,000 people show up. And you have these other duties as assigned. And when they dump in the big bags of ice in that tank, working at NASA is really cool. When they do that. But we raise a lot of money for a good cause. And of course, if you happen to have a birthday and people know about it, they'll come by and they'll leave gifts and things in your office, and you'll get to take those home and celebrate. And believe it or not, this is our assistant deputy administrator. This happens to be on Halloween. And so that's Rick P. And is Rick coming out to talk? So I hope he is. Then y'all can tell me stories. But we look forward to all of our big days. And so we do have fun at work. If I got to be somewhere 12 hours a day, or how many hours a day it is, which is more than I spend anywhere else, if it's not fun, then I'm not going to be there much longer. And so we do celebrate successes with our coworkers and family, and that's cool too. And here is at the Women of Color Conference, where we honor some of our NASA women, and we all get together and we're helping them to celebrate. And this is at Beta, Black Men of the Year Awards. And what we're laughing about is this guy was talking to someone. He just received an award, and his boss didn't know that one of the other companies was trying to steal him away. Until I told him about it, I said, "Hey, that guy's trying to steal John away." And you see Dr. Blankson told him his award. So we're celebrating there. Here's my family. They come by the office too. I don't know if we celebrated. They came by to ask for money one day. And of course, this is the Minorities Research Conference, and these happen to be. This is a Baltimore councilwoman and a judge who I went to high school with, came all the way from Michigan, and then they barged on the stage uninvited. So I guess that was fun too. And you can see Tyrone Taylor. I don't know if he's lecturing them or what, but celebrating successes with coworkers and family and friends is really cool. And then working at NASA, we get to check out some really cool stuff. You know, we talk about knowing what's coming next, but checking out the hardware is really cool. And so when Honda came out their fuel cell car and they brought it down, say, "Why don't you test it out?" Well, sure, I'll be happy to test it out. This thing has some kick to it. And of course, if you get a new airplane and you're the center director, of course, you got to check that out, right? So checking out the hardware is cool, and hell, there we go. And of course, if you're getting ready to do a return to flight mission, believe me, this is 114, and you get on the pad and you're getting ready to fly, and you're the deputy center director, you got to make sure it's all safe for the astronauts. So checking out the space shuttle is cool. So checking out the hardware is really cool. And so one of the things that we're doing right now is the combined federal campaign. So helping those who are less fortunate is cool, because we're really blessed to be able to work for NASA. And so here we are, we got the big gavel, we're decreeing that people are going to give money. And sure enough, they did. And this is just from one NASA center, this is $380,000. This was 2006 that we donated to charity just from our center, and this is going on all across the agency right now as we speak. And now this is the evidence, I say, that NASA's cool. And you know, when Leland was getting ready to fly his first mission, he called me up and he said, "You got to do something for me." He said, "You got to do something for me that's cool." So we got a good NASA part for Leland. So we went out and hired some entertainment. And that's cool. Now this guy right here, he's not cool. You see. He's not cool. But this guy right here, he's cool. Now you can see that. There's the evidence that working for NASA is really cool, because we're celebrating. And Leland called us on the phone. He couldn't come with us, of course. He's in quarantine. But Leland, we were really cool. We were ready to fly. And so hanging out in I didn't know who was going to be here, so that really was the ice bar in Sweden. So that's really cool. So, but you have to put on your big coats and you know, and go into the ice bar. And this guy, he's not cool. He's carrying books. And sitting through a 4-hour Explorer School program for Leland in Puerto Rico in the 100-degree heat. It was hot, but it was still cool. And Leland, you can see the mayor is actually cool. You know, this white suit. And you can see I lost my jacket, and about 5 minutes after this, I think I took my shirt off. It was so hot down there, sitting outside for 4 hours. But you know, working with the students, it was still cool. And you know, working at NASA, you get to hang out with cool people. And if you're the director of the Glenn Research Center, you get to hang out with John Glenn. And John Glenn's wife. You can see at NASA, we wear a lot of tuxedos. I don't know if you've noticed that, but we wear a lot of tuxedos at NASA. And that's, and I'll back up, and that's my lovely wife, and between me and Mrs. Glenn. And this is Scott Copper, one of the original 7 astronauts. And that's really cool. They came by to visit me in my office, and you'll notice that we're in the shadow of one of the original Tuskegee Airmen. That's an original one that I hung on my wall when I was at the Kennedy Space Center. And of course, you get to meet really cool, fancy people. They come off the airplane. Of course, that's the former First Lady. And I even let her take a picture with me before she left out. So she thinks working with NASA is cool. And then hanging out with some of our heroes is cool. And here I am down at the Stennis Space Center, and we have a Navy SEAL Riverines, the training site down there. And so here I am going out with them to help train them on how to rescue some of our soldiers. And in fact, a couple of these guys had just gotten back from Iraq the day before, and they were right there ready to train. So here we are, I'm going off taking. So training the Navy SEALs and showing them how to do their job is really cool too. And of course, if you're from Detroit, like I am, and Detroit is hockey town, and somebody brings the Stanley Cup to town, of course, the Stanley Cup is cool. And I don't know if you noticed this, but we're actually underneath one of the orbiters in the orbital processing facility. So this was the year that Tampa Bay won. This guy got mad at me because I told him that next year this cup is going to be in Detroit. For some reason, he got upset. This is the general manager of Tampa Bay Lightning. And you know, you go to launch and you get to hang out. Now this picture, all these folks kept telling me about David Letterman. And the picture they took with David Letterman, I was really upset because I missed the picture with David Letterman. And I said, let me see this picture with David Letterman. I said, hey, I'm in the picture with David Letterman. I thought this dude was working on the bus. And you would see I had gone inside to change after launch and took my suit off. And it was going to be a long ride back to Orlando. And I thought he was waiting for me to come out the bathroom and take a picture with me. And I get to the restaurant and I find out, oh, I'm David, that's David Letterman. So then I wasn't upset. And then, of course, you know, you get to hang out with cool dudes like that. Oh, that's incredible. And, but best of all, making the impossible look routine is cool at NASA. And you get to work on new technologies to make aircraft engines quieter and less polluting to the environment. And we do technology developments at NASA. And then the companies put it into their products, and it really benefits society and makes our economy stronger. Here is, we're in Don Pettit's garage. Don's flown to the space station, and he's getting ready to go back again. And this is Charlie Kamada, who's an astronaut on the return to flight mission. And this is about 2 o'clock in the morning in Don's garage, trying to figure out how to repair a towel if they get damaged in future flights. Of course, Charlie's always talking, and everybody else is listening. Developing harnesses so astronauts can train in space and exercise in space. And you can see that I'm laughing because I'm never going to take this guy down, and I'm just going to leave him up here. And this is what happened to him after about 6 months. And of course, you know, working on the fairings for rockets out of my big space power facility out of Columbus Station. And here's experiments that were flown. These actually flying on the space station at the time. And we actually work with students. And this is a high school student experiment that flew 4 times on the space station. And of course, this was developing, checking out concepts for new rockets. This is Ares 1X. And getting to work with the team is really cool out of the pad, and then to actually see something that you have built from scratch fly away successfully. And that's really cool. And then somebody talked about rovers on other planets, on Mars, and having a laboratory you can go in and test these concepts out. That's pretty cool. And then being able to work and have your rockets launch and understand that what we do is really not only just the coolest job on Earth, it's the coolest job off of Earth. And it allows us to really prove the concept that the sky no longer is the limit, and that we can really go out and explore that. So I think I have shown a state of my case that says that working at NASA is really cool. And any of you out there who are interested in joining the team, or if you've got students or young people who want to join the team, whether it be in some of our student programs, like intern programs, or coming to work with us, just let them know it's really cool. And we look forward to working with you. Thanks a lot.